on that, I want to bring in White House Deputy Communications Director Brian Morgenstern. And Brian, you know, the Senate GOP, they've gone back and forth. They got a smaller package. I don't think it's anything serious. We've already heard President Trump say he wants to go big or go home. How's it looking?
Well, Charles, hope springs eternal, and we remain focused on helping small businesses, on helping schools reopen, on keeping Americans connected to their jobs, on providing maybe stimulus checks, some additional unemployment insurance. These core issues remain core to the administration. We want to make sure that people who have been harmed through no fault of their own get help. We're glad that, you know, the Speaker seems to have set an arbitrary deadline. It seems like maybe she won't stick to it. There will be some further negotiations maybe at the appropriations level. We remain at the table and ready to move. That's why we've gone from the skinny bill with just reappropriating the $300 billion remaining in CARES Act funding all the way up to a $1 trillion package, up to a $1.88 trillion package. We have continued to negotiate in good faith. We're hopeful that the Speaker is signaling that she is now moving in good faith. But, you know, nothing's done until it's done, as they say, right?
Brian, yeah, and let's be honest. I mean, I'm looking at the two different proposals, and they're really not that different. It's just the dollar amounts are slightly higher on the Democratic side. But there are very few things that, you know, the Democrats want $10 billion for health care. They want pension relief. I understand why Republicans don't want to do that. So is this more of a political negotiation, understanding that you've got millions of Americans who are out of work praying that something happens regardless of which side wants to take credit?
Well, Charles, there have been a number of policies that the Democrats have included in this, including stimulus for illegal immigrants, including, of course, the state and local topic, which has been discussed at length over the last couple of months. So there have been really sort of a Christmas tree of liberal policy wish lists that they've been trying to include in this. Now the goalposts have shifted to talks about virus control measures. I'm glad that they're focused on that. We've been focused on that really for the entire year. That's why we've had the task force. That's why we closed down travel from various areas. That's why we've had Operation Warp Speed to get treatments and a vaccine to market. So we've been focused on this for a long time. Yeah. So if that's a marker that she's going to use, yeah, go ahead.
No, because I want to get in a couple more things. I'm running out of time.
Sure.
Let's talk about some of the momentum, it seems, that you're getting. I've read several headlines today. Pennsylvania, you're getting momentum. North Carolina, you're getting momentum. You've got registration momentum. How's the campaign feeling? I mean, is this giving Republicans some extra oomph there?
Yeah, Charles, I've had the privilege of traveling with the president to a number of areas of this country, and it's remarkable to see. When he arrives, people line the streets, thousands and thousands of people. When we show up to these events that he holds, it's thousands, if not tens of thousands, sometimes called on 24 hours notice or 2 days notice. The enthusiasm for the president is out there. It seems to not really be captured in the polls all the time, and you have people who are Democrats, independents, people who haven't voted in the last couple of elections that naturally wouldn't be caught by the pollsters, who are coming out enthusiastically supporting this president's agenda, pro-growth, pro-jobs, pro-peace, getting us out of endless wars, lowering health care costs. His record is astounding. So it's not surprising to see that support, but that support isn't always captured in polls. This voter registration information is showing that his support is rising, and that's a really good thing for America.
And to be quite frank, it's moving in the polls. I get what you're saying, and I don't like to quote polls, but I think the direction of them seems to have turned in your favor. Brian, thank you very much. Appreciate it, my friend. Talk to you again real soon.